It's Jonathan Parsons, Festival Director for the Byron Bay Writers Festival, and we're in the ABC3 marquee at the festival. There's 5 marquees on site, and most of them are session panels, so you'll get a series of writers talking around a particular theme. In some cases there are what we call in conversation, so it's a chair with one individual writer, and it's a way of going, I guess, much deeper into the work of a particular writer. But there are also some performative elements too. So yesterday we had a wonderful reading of Andrew Bovell's play, Speaking in Tongues. So we do try to mix up that format with some different ways, different approaches to writers to make it as interesting for the audience as possible. Basically, anyone that comes on site for the day, can move between all of those marquees and see whatever is on the program for that day. And it's one of the beautiful qualities of this festival, actually, because it kind of creates this wonderful, relaxed vibe, which is very special and unique, really, to this festival.
It's kind of special in one way, and that's that it's nobody's territory. We're all camped here in these tents, and it doesn't matter where you're from, Singapore, India, from the UK, wherever you're from Melbourne or Sydney or Adelaide. It's not the Melbourne scene, it's not the Adelaide scene, it's not Norwich. You go to Norwich and it's the University of East Anglia Writing School and all that sort of thing. You go to Dublin, it's Dun Laoghaire Festival, and it's their territory. This is nobody's territory. So we're kind of writers without borders here.
And now this magnificent work, The Street Sweeper.
My most recent book is my 4th book, and that's a big fat novel called The Street Sweeper. And probably that's the reason I'm here, but I'm always happy to talk about the 3 previous books as well, if anyone wants to talk about it.
I want to thank you all for coming, and I want to congratulate David for bringing out book number 3.
It's a writers' festival, but I love the readers. I love meeting the readers, and I love meeting the sculptors, the kids. There's lots of kids around, and I'm really, really pleased for that, because no matter how digital everything is, in the end, a book's a book, and you really need to start physical with kids and read a book.
It's been deliberately eclectic in terms of the programming. And that's about making sure that there's as much diversity in the program, because that's what our audiences are. They're incredibly diverse, and we want to cater for those audiences. So it ranges right across the fields of, I guess, the real literary kind of writers like Alex Miller and people like that, through to writings on science, politics. We've got some top Australian and international journalists here. We've got people talking about food, we have people talking about sport, talking about sex.
We have, to discuss sex, a very, very, how to put this, well-credentialed panel.
We're genetically programmed to want it and to like it, and there are a lot of awful people out there who are trying to make it difficult and unpleasant and stop it. I mean, that's the fundamental question in this session. Why did those people go around trying to stop people having enjoyment and fun and fulfilling themselves and expressing themselves in a sexual way? I mean, what did they have as their big dark fear?
Chidley thought that the way that men and women conventionally had sex was unnatural, and indeed was leading to the degeneration of civilization. The crowbar has no place in physiology, he said, by which he meant the erect penis.
Having your work appreciated and read, obviously, is satisfying and good. And having a readership and talking to a readership, the enemy's not here. At these things, these like Byron Bay Festival, the enemy's not here, they don't come. Occasionally you get a curly question from some grumpy old man. That's good, it's a bit of fun, but that's about it. I mean, for the most part, they're people who read you, or think they might read you, or wonder what you're like. And really you're kind of giving them something, and you're aware of that. One of the great things about performance is that sense that that you can be generous with people if it's possible. Not everybody can, but there's a kind of toing and froing with your audience then, with your readership, which is lovely. The desire to be hidden away writing all the time is in some ways a cop-out. And I can do that too. I keep saying, I was just saying to Shane, I think this is my last public appearance here. I'm going back into the cave, but I don't know whether I will or not.
I think I came to writing because I was really isolated. I mean, both geographically and emotionally, and writing became a tool that I used to communicate things that I didn't really have any avenue in my real life to communicate. I don't like to start something that I won't finish. So things like housework, I don't even start, because you know how that is. It's not something you can finish. It's just never ending. So I'm really bad on those kind of areas, like tasks that just end up being endless. But something like that, I'm quite persistent.
The first part of the job is one of the most isolated jobs anyone could ever have, and it's very lonely. In fact, I sometimes speak to writing students or aspiring writers and say, frankly, if you're not lonely, you're probably not doing it right. And that's hard, actually. I think a lot of reasons why people with a passion for writing quit is because they can't handle the isolation. And then the other side of the coin is that more and more these days, writers are required to be performers as well. But quite seriously, other than the money you need to write the next one, that's the biggest reward you can get, when you get to meet your readers and they tell you what worked and sometimes what didn't. It's really nourishing.
I come to the Writers' Festival each year because I enjoy the atmosphere here.
So there's no one thing in particular, but I do find them stimulating. Good food for thought.
I like coming to listen to all the discussions and buy some books and just take in the atmosphere. The artwork's amazing, and it's just nice to come and spend the day in the sun and do something different for a change.
What's really going on that isn't in newspapers or on television? That's really why I come.
Write documentaries. A lot of people think you don't write a documentary, but you actually do. I've got 2 new films coming out, and both of them have challenged me as a writer, and so I come here for stimulation. I come here to meet other people who write, and particularly one of my films is a biography, so I'm looking and very interested in the whole biography form.
A lot of stuff that's published by academics people don't read. So another agenda for mine, because it's really interesting, another agenda for me is to think about how I write things and how I put things on paper, to encourage them to read stuff that's I find interesting.
It's a snapshot of where we are in 2012, in August. And if you're lucky enough to be here for the 3 days, that's really what I hope, is that you get a sense of who we are now, where we are now. And that again is why there's such a diverse program.
And also it's in the bush, and you can just go for a walk down there and you're on the beach on your own. It's pretty special.